Whoa. Ah, okay, dude, keep coming. Okay, am I under a spawn point or something? They keep jumping in front of me. They keep getting me. Oh boy. Are you dead or something, or am I alone in this fight?
Okay. Came out of nowhere.
Whoop!
Like,
Ah! Knocking my mic around while I'm getting eaten by sperm. Whee!
Do you like?
Help me get my mic fixed.
Okay.
Okay, better. Oh, okay. Custer's last stand. Okay. Is that it? Nope. We good? No.
I don't know yet.
Oh no! Alrighty. You know, to be honest, I don't like the flood that much.
I don't know that anybody does. Does anybody play Halo and go, yeah, the flood part, it's my favorite? Maybe.
Well, I don't know.
If you do, you're weird.
Let's just make everyone mad today. If you like free verse poetry, you're wrong.
If you like free verse Poe, you're probably the same person that likes the flood in Halo.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm just playing.
We found another... Oh.
Another grouping of...
Just going to investigate their social habits.
Well, these guys got dropped too quick. Relieve them, Doyle.
Well, the question is, were they relieving each other?
I hope not. Okay. Hey guys, I've got Cool Ranch and barbecue, guys.
Ah! Puns, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Since we're on the subject of snobbery related to written
Forms of...
word, puns.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on them? Because I think they...
Well, they're fairly...
Oh, I've left without you.
Okay.
I didn't realize you were still down there. I thought you came onto the platform.
They're fairly cheap.
No, here's the thing. Puns suck, universally. Wordplay is a different skill.
Well, I'm not talking about wordplay.
Because I sent you what I thought was actually of the funny... I mean, the thing is, everyone recognizes that puns aren't funny.
Well, yeah, that's...
The only people who laugh at puns laugh at them because of how bad they are. Where it's like, oh gosh, that's so stupid. It's like people who think dad jokes are genuinely funny. It's like the thing about dad jokes is that they're not funny. And it's the humor derives from their lack of humor. It's a bit of an odd meta joke. And puns are the same way, at least in my opinion. A pun can only be judged by how bad it is. Whereas the thing that I showed you is an example of actual, like, genuine, clever wordplay that made me laugh genuinely. Not because it was dumb, but because it was actually quite clever.
Which is what?
I'm just going to... No context. Forgive me. But there was a truck parked outside our office today that was apparently some, like, paving company.
Oh, yeah.
And at the side of the truck,
yeah, I did think
it says,
that was funny.
And because what they do is, like, asphalt, cement, restoration and stuff, and apparently they're having... Oh, hello.
Well, I feel like... Oh, okay, sorry. My apologies for just shooting you right in the back.
Well, yes. Thank you.
My thought is...
Let me deliver the punchline. Well, I'm dead. But on the side of the truck, it says, if you don't hire us, it's your own asphalt.
Right, which I think...
And here's the thing. Call it crude, if you will.
Nah, it's not
But
crude.
that, to me, I genuinely found funny. And here's the reason, is that it doesn't twist... it doesn't mangle language in order to pull off the double entendre.
Right. Well, like, for instance...
Because most puns are actually completely incoherent if taken literally.
Right.
It's like you have to twist the sentence or the words so much that, yes, you've technically made it resemble something, which now means we can all kind of catch the joke. But
Well,
you've
there was
actually
another-
twisted. But in so doing, you've made one incoherent sentence that maybe sounds like a more coherent sentence. But strictly speaking, it's not. Whereas this is a perfectly coherent sentence. You're right. If you don't hire this company, then you have to provide your own asphalt. But it's worded in such a way that you can kind of get a clever second meaning out of it.
Right.
But the first meaning is not sacrificed for the second.
Correct.
And most puns are the opposite. You sacrifice the first meaning, the actual, grammatically correct sentence, for the sort of double entendre.
We had
and then that just, I don't know, it bothers me.
We had a competing roofing company that said, call us on the day when you're saying, what the hail? And it's like, that's
the opposite.
I agree. It's like, that's trying too hard. That's, you're
if
again,
you have
bending.
to subvert the actual grammatical correct version of the sentence to get some kind of secondary meaning out of it, then, you've cut off your nose to spite your face, as it were.
I find that...
Whereas, genuinely, it's quite difficult to make a sentence that is coherent on one level and then also contain a secret sort of secondary meaning.
Yeah.
That's harder.
Wordplay is more witty than I think puns are. Puns don't require a whole lot of wit. Typically, it's just isn't that hilarious? I said, but... Like,
okay, no, I've never heard puns that are that
no,
low,
but I'm
that
just
are that
saying,
low effort.
No, but it feels a little like that, where it's like it does because
usually it's just incredibly uncomfortable.
It's not just uncomfortable though; it's also easy.
Well, bad puns, sure.
That's what I mean.
Good puns are not.
But I mean,
I guess what I'm saying. I guess the thing I'm saying is that it ceases to be a pun if it's genuinely clever. Because in my opinion, a pun is
that's my point.
Cheapest form of wordplay.
What is a pun? I suppose is the question. I don't know.
A dumb joke.
Well, then, okay, you can't just go changing the definition and say puns are dumb jokes because that's the definition of puns.
Because I don't like them. That's why. I'm out of shotgun ammo. I'm not sure how you just, or maybe I don't know. Maybe they're all puns, and some puns are worse than others.
I find the humor that you actually have to try in order to understand meaning. Not everybody gets it because of the fact that it requires a degree of wit that maybe not everybody has the capacity for, and that sounds terrible to say out loud, but I had an English teacher that was like that. He would say things, and certain class members of mine would be like, they didn't like him as a teacher because they didn't think he was that interesting or whatever else. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's hilarious. Because he would lay all these really, really dry pieces of humor down and no one would pick them up.
Well,
it was a little bit like if we can't, we won't. That kind of thing.
Okay. I don't get... You had me right up until that last bit.
Well, have you seen...
How does that relate?
You've seen that bit, though, from I think it was Brian Regan, but he said basically there was a truck that had part of its door either open or like their sign had like faded on their van, and so it was clearly, it used to say, if we can't do this, then we won't charge you or what have you. And so, but it ended up being that because the door was open or the part of it was scratched off, that it just said, if we can't, we won't. And it's like, well, that kind of works.
Sure.
So, but it's that kind of witty humor where you're going, okay.
I'm just, because I'm gonna anger, I'm sure, people who think that puns are funny, but they're not.
Well, yeah, I think you have to actually give an actual accurate definition for pun first, because you can't just be like, puns are dumb jokes, aren't they?
Well, it's difficult.
What's a pun? A dumb joke.
Because I guess I don't know how... I mean, and probably it's because my definition isn't actually correct. I'm sure, technically speaking, they're all puns, and it's just that most puns are insufferable. Maybe that's the case.
That's probably true.
But generally, because what I would consider a pun is the kind of wordplay that requires the twisting of sentences so that they're unrecognizable.
Right, if you have to do some...
This is the wrong way, sorry.
Alphabetical gerrymandering in order...
Whereas, clever wordplay...
Or phonetic, I suppose, phonetic gerrymandering.
Whereas wordplay is... I mean, it's far less easily defined. It's just clever writing that conceals two meanings within the same sentence.
It's the actual double entendre.
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's not actually a double entendre if you've mangled the first meaning to get the second.
It's just a poor entendre.
Basically, it's
poor entendre.
It's a unitandre.
Unitandre.
Because here's the example that it literally has stuck in my head for years because of how much I hate this joke. But it is in my mind the arch bad pun. That'll be funny. You're going to be like, I told you that one 7 years ago.
It's not, I promise.
But the joke, or what I consider the worst pun I've ever heard, was, I forget which instruments were involved, but it was, I think it was like, what did the clarinet say to... I'm only going to make it worse by not remembering how it goes. People are going to be like, that's not fair, you didn't tell it right. But
the mollusk says to the sea cucumber.
No, I think that was what I think it was, what did the brass say to the wind instrument when it was leaving, the orchestra session? It said, see you bassoon. And that has stuck in my brain forever.
It hurts
because of how awful that is.
It's terrible.
And it's like, because okay,
no, it hurts.
I'm trying to be logically consistent. So technically speaking, is the first sentence grammatically correct? I mean, technically, I guess it is. But is it something you would ever say?
The second sentence isn't, though. Well, I mean...
Well, I guess, no, you're right. Yeah, the secondary meaning doesn't actually exist.
I didn't realize I could actually drop him.
Okay, no, all right. You've helped me remain logically consistent.
Well,
so in that case, yes, technically speaking, it's grammatically correct, but the sort of second meaning that your attempt doesn't actually work because that's not how you would say that.
Right.
Whereas you could, if you were being snarky, say, well, if you don't hire us, it's your own ass fault.
Right.
But it also means if you don't hire us, you're going to have to provide your own asphalt. Like, both meanings actually make sense.
Functionally work.
You could,
exactly.
I mean, technically you could argue the second one isn't grammatically correct, but swearing usually isn't. Like, if you're gonna insert expletives into a sentence, chances are they're not going to be grammatically sensible. So sure, I guess, but it is at least correct. What's the word? Slang-wise, that's how a slang sentence would be structured.
Sure.
So, I don't feel like there's the same grammatical spasms happening. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't find anything where I have to put my head in my hands and go, wow. That, I don't like those jokes. Even if you do get a chuckle out of me, it's like, no.
Well, see, the only way that those kind of jokes are funny is on a meta level. Like, I can't believe you just said that. It's more of like, I can't believe you thought that was funny. Oh, do we have to go over there, I guess?
Wait a minute. I think he could be glue.
What? What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying, I think the key here is jokes have to actually be funny.
Well, now that's short, but if you're going to talk about snobbery, that's... Only my humor's funny. Everyone else's humor sucks.
Well,
if
yeah, I was about to say, what you're talking about is a dictatorship. Well, if it works,
a dictatorship of humor.
I can't. I'm not gonna be able to.
Well, then don't.
What is?
We're in a. There's things already dead here, so this means this isn't the right spot. Oh, you found the button.
Jim,
Ooh.
Son.
Alone.
What?
Am I the only intelligence left?
This is strange.
Waiting here on the spring for a rebirth never truly conceived. Guarding a weapon with no targets. A weapon unattuned to any target. This is not what I had in mind when I volunteered. Not what I had in mind at all. I was naive to think I understood what this installation meant. We were all so naive. Looking back, we should version of
I'm sure this is plot happening, but we can't hear it very much. He's talking about how the halos were created as containment for the flood by the Forerunners. Well, I mean, that isn't exclusively their purpose, but that's one of their purposes.
very, very dangerous for a system such as myself. Perhaps a visit to the nearby gas giant is in order.
I don't know how long the sequence is.
Stars could certainly make the journey.
Anyways,
A few hundred years of travel.
I'm just saying you can't mangle one meaning to get the other one, because the whole point is to get two meanings. If one is something you'd never actually say, or doesn't function, and it only like vaguely resembles something you might say, then you haven't done enough work. That's 1.5 entendres at best.
Yeah, I can't. Typically, the thing though is any canned joke, in my opinion, is less funny than something that is birthed out of an outpouring of your cleverness in the moment. This is why I think having a fast wit is important, because
not all puns are canned jokes. Sometimes they're still sucky even if they're original.
Well, that's true, but I'm just saying canned in that it's a not just prescriptive, but also the idea that you're intending to tell a joke. It's like, oh, I got a joke for you. Here's the beginning bit, and here's the punchline.
Yeah,
it's like, no.
Well, but see, you like Dimitri Martin, and I'm not as big a fan of him, because that's his whole thing is, let me tell you, here's one self-contained joke with no setup and no payoff.
Well, but...
Or no callback.
Yeah.
It's just, here's me talking jokes for 20 minutes.
That's true. I mean... I think stand-up
blown holes
for me,
in your consistency, sir.
No, I mean, stand-up for me, because I don't know that I would have considered his stuff to be here's the beginning and then here's the punchline. I don't feel like that's...
yes, absolutely that's what it is. Literally, that's all his whole set is. Here's a brief setup, here's the punchline, and then here's another one. What,
I don't know.
Are you going to try to argue that that's not the case?
Well, I don't know that I feel
Where are we
like
supposed to go, Oracle boy?
When I say punchline, I mean, maybe I do mean prescriptive to a certain degree, where it's like, it's like a single sentence crack that is meant to be, it's a bit like a knock-knock.
Single crack sentence.
No, that's not what I said. But
What's a single sentence crack?
Crack, like as in wisecrack.
Oh.
But I mean, it shouldn't be.
Hello.
Like knock jokes.
I found the
my
plot.
least favorite, because it's again, it's such a classic setup that you're just going, okay, no.
But is that just because they're overdone? Maybe they were funny
yeah.
for the first couple hundred. I'm pretty sure. No, like first couple hundred knock jokes, and then I think after that they just start. I don't know. There's only so many possible deliveries for that kind of setup. I am alone in a world of hurt.
Where are you?
Facing the plot while you're picking your belly button or something. I don't know what you're up to. And I'd like to point out your presence is not really being felt. Or your absence, I mean.
Appreciate that.
Well, I mean, I'm about to clean up. That's what I've just done. Call me the landlady.
Okay. I don't know that landladies clean up, but all right. I'll call you whatever you'd like.
What is a landlady cleans up? I mean, I guess I'm using it in the old school sense where a landlady was also kind of your housekeeper. Oh, there you go. You got some action. Good for you. You've got the short bus, apparently. Well, any more opinions we can use to anger people?
I apparently am gonna take a swim.
Yeah. Oh. Where are we going?
Cotton Eye Joe. Oh,
there's our floating orb. Whoa! Ha! He was planning that. He wanted a real big surprise, and I just said no. Tried to give me a jump scare, and I said no, no, no.
Wow.
You know, it's actually not unlike the use of a... Because we are famously... Well, famously. We, amongst each other...
Famously with each other.
Routinely, maybe, is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
There's an art to morphing a known...
Song into something.
Well, not even necessarily a song, but like a known reference in a new context so as to, you know... I guess, is it unfair for us to consider that humorous when it technically means you've mangled the original context to put it in a new context?
Yeah, but that's not a pun, again, because it's not... I think a part of it has to be
I guess a reference is not, because it's not a...
response thing.
Yeah, but not all puns are like that.
Aren't they, though?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, is that what you mean by setup? Because they're not all knock-knock jokes, if that's what you're saying.
No, obviously they're
and
not.
They're not all a what do you call a this kind of joke.
Sure, I suppose that's true. It just seems like even if they're different, they are set up the same way. I mean, a knock-knock joke.
But then there are also times that I'll criticize, or you'll criticize, if one of us tries to make a reference that's a bit
vague.
You've stretched the original so far that it's no longer recognizable. Then
well, and again, that's at the point in which that is no longer. Not
basically,
only
linguistic
consistent.
Gymnastics don't belong in humor. There's life advice number 500.
Linguistic gymnastics
don't belong in humor. That makes it sound so much more categorical. Now remember, kids, linguistic... I forget what I've already said. Linguistic gymnastics have no place in humor. Where's the enemies? Whoa, there they are! They answered the call in force. Well, I think over the past couple weeks, we've just revealed ourselves to be complete snobs.
People at home going, I like puns.
I like puns, and what else have we criticized lately?
I also think it's genetic, though, because my boys are actually quite good at it now. As far as, like, turning...
Because I don't think that's genetic.
I
think that's
a little
culture.
phrase, and I turned it on itself.
I think that
That's probably
could just as
nurture.
easily... Exactly.
Sure.
If anything, I'd say that that's far more likely.
Sure.
The way he
have
moves makes
certainly-
me uncomfortable. The word undulate was made for this. Even more, the weird walking ball sacks. They
and you think he's sexy.
they pulsate, but these guys undulate.
Come on, baby, pulsate with me.
Oh no!
Wow!
That's awful.
Oh,
That's only made me think of the Strange Planet comic, but in more suggestive ways.
Are you listening to? Are you
No,
cracking open new manga that we need to know about?
Oh, you know the Strange Planet guy.
Oh yes, okay.
But I'm just saying that there are plenty of ways
that reminds me of this new manga I was reading.
Never said anything about that.
I'm joking.
But I'm just saying, the phrase "come pulsate with me" could be used in such a context.
I'm gonna put on. I'm not even gonna touch that one. To pulsate with you. Yeah.
Okay. Whoop. So
What kind of shoes
basically,
would you need for that?
well, high heels probably. I mean, that is the typical arrangement. Oh boy, have we done it? No, we haven't.
Just undulate is it's a better flow. I'm gonna put on my undulating shoes.
Oh, I've gone away again. Bye.
Run away. I'm just gonna
Come sail away. Come sail away.
Can
come
I
sail
jump
away with
into?
me.
Oh nope. I disappear into the void.
You stay away.
That actually
you
worked.
stay away. No, well, I think it's because you died and then respawned. You stay away from me. Okay, we good?
You're good. You're good.
How much
you're
more of this
good.
can we do?
Oh, I thought you were done.
Well, basically, we're just authoritarians trying to tell people what's right in life. That's the criticism I predict. I'm just going, trying to tell people how to have fun and write poetry. Be funny.
Who are you to judge? I hate that phrase.
Me. That's who I am to judge.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
Who are you to judge? Court's in session, mother!
Oh, right. But I mean...
Because it acts
in
as though it's like,
seriousness.
who am I to judge? A person capable of judgment?
Judgment, exactly.
We used to consider having good judgment to be a good thing. Now we're like, you're not supposed to use it, though.
Like, I could see somebody saying that to, like, a Supreme Court justice, and I'm like, this is just... The culture we live in now is so stupid.
Did you?
He wanted to kill that guy. Who are you to say he can't? I'm the law.
I do believe that there's... Well, it's just a complete lack of consequence in life is the main thing.
Yeah. But
People
that,
don't-
unfortunately, generationally. It was caused... What kind of scythes do you have
I'll
in your
blame
hands?
Dr. Spock.
For him?
Yes, for that guy's scythe.
I was like, what?
I'm saying, because it was his, that was in like the 60s and 70s was the whole era of the children need positive affirmation and you can't be too harsh with them. It's like, no, what they need is a good whipping.
Well, that, I mean, again,
It's a good thing I don't have kids yet, because CPS would be knocking on my door.
CPS is knocking at your door. They're
CPS is ringing your bell. Come in here and they're gonna take your kids. Anyway,
Give me your kids, you little...
rascal.
You, I don't know. Degenerate.
Whoa. But yeah, blame him. But that wasn't what I was gonna go on. Oh, there's so the funniest. I mean, it's not funny, but it is a little bit funny. Was woman in front of some city council thing. She's having a rant because she's some activist, and she literally says to all of them something like, I forget exactly, but she makes something akin to, you know, I hope when some, because I think she was probably communist aligned because they all are, aren't they? But basically saying like, whoa, not that, like, you know, someday they're going to bring out the guillotine for all of you. And I'll be something, and literally, and she has since been arrested for 8 counts of some, I forget what the actual terms is, but it was something akin to like, you're in my way. Not that either. I forget what the official thing was. Basically, it's like threats and threats of violence and or something to a public official, because it's even. It was just like, well, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think you could just say stuff like that? It's like, you're not allowed to just go tell public officials, I hope the mob kills you and I'm going to be there. It's like, this is not a thing that you could just go threatening people with.
Street rat. We'll cut your neck back.
Okay, so remember how I said we'll sometimes criticize one another for stretching things?
Yeah, that was a little bit. But
You
still,
owe Aladdin an apology.
you know Latin? Oh, Aladdin. I think he said Latin.
You know, well, that wasn't in Latin. That would never. Yeah, there's just people have gotten so used to not having consequences that they're like surprised when they actually do happen. It's just like, this is again I take the Kierkegaardian approach. It's like life is too easy. My job is to make it more difficult, and the way in which I foresee that happening is by simply giving the consequences for an action.
Well, even as like so, in teaching my kids, there is a degree also of
You don't need to.
allowing them to not only experiencing the basic life consequences, but also you go, this is going to sound incredibly, like, almost borderline abusive, but I'm not saying...
Wow, CPS is coming for you next.
But on a...
You've already taken my hypothetical kids.
Not on a physical level, but on a psychological level, maybe. There are times it's okay not to pull your punches. Like, I think sometimes as parents, it's like, but they're just kids. It's like, okay, but...
And they're stupid, and they should know it!
Well, it's true. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, like... Like, I remember there being very specific times I can recall and recount where I got myself into a situation, and rather than being like, we'll help you out of it, like, the people around me, both my parents and or grandparents, were like, yeah, you got yourself into this situation. It was pretty sucky, wasn't it? Because as a parent, a part of your job is to bring clarity, if I can say it that way. And so, because they obviously are not going to specifically think very critically at the moment, in their particular age bracket or what have you, you have to be the one to say, hey, bud, this has been caused by this particular action, or, you're responsible for this choice, and bring it back to them. Because here's the thing. People are going to act like, but that puts too much weight on them. It's like, no, actually what it does is give them the power to change their outcomes.
But they shouldn't change. They need to be free to make their own choices forever, because Rousseau is our patron saint of child molesting.
It's child molesting.
I'm not even joking. That's the thing. Here's life advice 501. Don't take philosophical advice from a pedo. We'd be in a much...
That's going to be the new quote for this bit.
Seriously. As a society, we'd be far better off if we just...
life advice from
anyone who is... I mean...
Or anybody who resembles one.
Well, that starts to get a little bit dicey, but it's like, no, if like actual proof, like, no, he's a pedo, then I don't care what significance he had beforehand. No philosophical or life advice or political or any kind of advice at all gets listened to. It's like, nope, pedo, sorry.
Pedo.
I don't care. I mean, maybe I'm falling into the fallacy of whatever. Of like, well, is he wrong because he's a pedo?
What's the logic?
I mean, but I'm just saying, it seems like decent advice.
It's A plus B equals C.
So
thing.
Rousseau should have been, I mean, A, he should have been hung, but B, he should be left in the ground where he is. I don't know why we still act as though he had anything worth saying. That got dark for a second. It just is one of those things that I find stupid, because it all comes down to that notion of, well, you have to let the child exercise their free will because they should determine who they're going to be. It's like, no, they are genetically mine. I will determine who they will be.
Oh, for sure, but I also think...
Not universally, but to a heavy extent.
It's a both and. If... there are times I'm going to make that decision for my kid, whether it's like, hey, what time you go to bed or whatever. I'm not going to ask the kid, hey, do you feel like going to bed yet? Because my kid's going to be like, no, and not until 2 a.m. because that's how I am. But it's like...
Or you could pull now you got to smoke the entire pack of cigarettes on them just because you want to stay up till 2 a.m.? Okay, then you'll stay up till 2 a.m.
But guess what? I'm waking you at 6.
It's 10 o'clock and they're starting to get tired. You start prodding them. No, you're staying awake till 2 a.m. You want to have Jell-O for every meal? Here, eat that now. Eat all the Jell-O in the house.
No, but I think that there also comes a point where you watch, and as a parent, I've witnessed this, where when you...
Okay, this dude's...
If, as the culture claims, they want to give all this power and like, they should have the right to choose and make their decisions and whatever else.
Yeah, but see, guess what?
Why? If you want that, you have to then actually allow for life itself to teach them those.
No, they don't want that either, though, because
but see,
Rousseau doesn't want
it both ways.
Yeah, well, that's Rousseau. It all is Rousseau. Rousseau screwed all of us over, and we should have known.
Rousseau screwed some other things.
He did, and we should have known he'd screw us. And now he is here to screw us.
Oh, not tonight, Rousseau.
I'm just, it's correct. Ugh.
Anyway,
It's just
if you
stupid.
give the power to them in a positive manner that says, hey, guess what? You have the authority to do this, and today you made a really dumb choice. Then they go, oh, I'm understanding now. Next time I won't do that. But if you pull the punch on a psychological level and go, oh, they can't know that. They're not ready for that kind of decision making yet. It's like, okay, well then don't tell them that they are when
pal.
they decide to stay up till 2.
What?
I
You're
don't
supposed
know.
to be leading us to the place, guy.
It's like,
Oh, this is the place.
You got to let them sleep in. They're tired because they stayed up late. It's like, guess what? I'm going to be the guy where by the time my kids are teenagers and they are deciding their own, time frames on school and bedtime and whatever else, great. But guess what? If your rear end isn't up in the morning, I'm coming in there and I'm dragging you out of bed.
I'm going back to the start. That's a long fall.
With zero apologies for or feeling bad about why you're
don't know what this is.
discontent with the
I thought this was a levitation thingy, but it isn't.
levitation. Except you don't float. Oh, okay.
So it's really not levitation at all, actually.
Levitation, no floating. Don't really know what this is. No.
What's up, little blue guy?
So you said this isn't where we're supposed to be?
No,
Can I
clearly
just...
not.
Okay.
That's how I killed myself. I thought
didn't
it was
realize
like
I thought it was the platform was further forward.
No, I thought it looks like it's one of those. Oh, we had to both be on the platform. I thought it was one of those
We were trying
teleport, like lift you up in the air things. Not teleport, levitate. I guess is what you were talking about. I thought we were supposed to be going up, not down. R2.
I think it's R4 that does that.
No, it's R2. It's Obi-Wan who says it, but he's saying it to R2.
No, we need to be going up, not down.
Yes, he says it to R2. R4's already
you're
dead
right,
by
you're
that
right,
point.
you're right.
R4 dies in the fight.
I love R4.
Why?
I don't know. Just because it's different.
So you're a hipster, confirmed.
I'm joking.
Here, you found the mystical Allen wrench.
Requires that I take possession of the index for
Let me take that.
will render you vulnerable to infection.
Well,
The index must not fall into the hands.
Give me that map.
all I'm saying
you.
is authoritarian. That's that's me.
Let it spreading. We must
As a parent? Sure.
Oh, I will be imperator of my house.
Oh, for sure. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, some people do, and I don't get it.
Well, I mean, like, even tonight, my kids are wrestling around with me and stuff like that. And then when I said, hey, I'm done, they were like, they continue to poke or whatever else. And they're all boys, and they are getting to the age where they're starting to be, like, preteen, whatever. And so I go, okay, guess what? I'm not going to give you the benefit of just going, hey, I'm telling you I'm done multiple times. You're just going to end up getting hurt when I say I'm done, and you continue prodding at me. It's like... And then when you get hurt, I'll go, yeah, you should have stopped while you were ahead.
It's a potential factor. Something wrong. Splendid, shall we?
I also like sarcastic, dry humor. Going back to that.
Okay, we're going.
Like,
I like absurdism in humor. Not as much as in
imagine
philosophy.
my surprise.
Well, there's something. I don't know. It's sort of.
My classification to
It's the ultimate subversion. And it's almost in some ways the height of humor, in my opinion, because it relies upon all of the previously established tropes. Because you can't subvert something unless it's become so expected that you create an expectation and then don't deliver on it. And I mean, in some ways, that's what humor is at its core: is you give a setup and then
My favorite food. I like hot dogs. Steak is really good. Wait a minute, I'm a vegetarian.
well, sure, it's most to set something up and then deliver an unexpected result is the core of almost all humor, basically. But so I like the kind of humor that flips that on its head. So, like, for example, it's incredibly stupid. But another, I'll pull out another storage joke that I remember. Because of the fact that I recognize that it's kind of stupid, but I just appreciate that. I appreciate it for what it is, and I forget which of the Aladdin films. Since we're going back to that, it's a screenshot, I think, from one of them. I don't remember, but it's just Jafar with some henchmen, and it says, "Don't be so hasty, my simple-minded friend," is the quote. It's the caption, and then it was presented to me as like a meme where someone basically posts an image and then has a caption that's like, "Oh, me when this happens." That just says, "Me when my simple-minded friend is being too hasty." I'm like, that's funny because it takes the trope of what you expect from a meme and flips it. So now, rather than giving you a setup and not paying off, it's actually paying off exactly. But the fact that you expected it to do something different, and then it does what it pretends it's going to do. It's the ultimate subversion, where it's like, you've been so trained by meme culture to expect something unrelated that giving you the related thing is actually surprising. And so that's the kind of thing that I find weird and funny.
Yeah, I do like going into a particular bit without any context.
There was one that says
of where it
when
is.
when you walk into this one I have absolutely no clue what the reference is, but apparently it's a reference from something. But it says when you accidentally walk into the side of a table, and then I forget what cartoon, but it hurts to be this hip.
But I mean,
and it's funny because you go, okay, well, it's almost so on the nose that it's new. It's so obvious that it's unexpected.
Well, I mean, but I like them when they catch me off guard and that they are completely almost out of left field. It's a little bit like Jim Gaffigan's whole, you know what else is addictive? Heroin.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It comes off like so. Like today, I was listening to one that was a quote from Shrek.
But that's the same thing. It's like you're expecting him to go on to something else. It's like, well, no, it's just a fact.
Like today, the one that really got me was you know what really bothers me? Because it was a quote from Shrek, and I was like, you really want to know what pulls my nose hairs? And it's like all of a sudden it cut away, and it was like one of those like audio insertions where it was a different thing, similar to the "look at this graph" bit from. And so it was like, you know what really pulls my nose hairs? And it was like, democracy all of a sudden. And it just really caught me.
What? Oh, see, have I shown you the Jordan Peterson Kermit one?
I'm sure.
Because obviously many people have made that joke.
Right.
Well,
have you seen the...
So the guys who were our friends are now not our friends. But they took a clip from Sesame Street. It's Cookie Monster and Kermit playing a game. And so he says, okay, now can you guess what is in the box? And then he goes, a cookie? No, it's postmodernism. And it's a similar thing where it's like, I don't know why that killed me the first time I heard it. But it did.
This gun is doing work for these guys.
Yeah, the shotgun's not as useful against machinery. Which you wouldn't think. I'd have thought buckshot would have taken out just about anything, but... Oh yeah, I guess if you got plasma stuff, that makes sense. Melting circuits and whatnot. Anyways, now that we've told everybody how to live correctly and enjoy humor, what other orders are we going to have, Herr Goebbels? When Herr Goebbels says, we own the world in space.
We say, hey! That is a good one. I miss when humor could just be what it is without having to apologize.
Well, I mean, the good humor never apologizes.
Oh, yes.
Good humor doubles down.
I know. I have a friend that actually did that one time with their parents. It was like they were making fun of one of their siblings, and they were like saying, "Oh, you're being retarded," and then the parent was like, "You need to apologize," and they literally doubled down. They went, "I'm sorry, you're retarded. It's not your fault." I was like, "Oh,
that
okay."
smacks of the "you need to think positive. I'm positive this isn't going to work" kind of joke, but sure.
It worked in that moment though, because it was again one of those ones where it was like, okay, you've just now taken that to a whole nother level. Where are you? Lying, sorry,
You party animal, you.
party animal.
Whoa! Me explode.
Are these actually...
Yeah, these are Covenant now.
Why?
I don't know. I don't remember the plot of the book. Well, what more taboos can we break? What things are you not supposed to tell people how to do anymore? Just tell them how to do it.
Positions. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So, this is how we do it. Ooh, that just puts that in a terrible context. No, the...
That's what I was just doing.
Yes, but I'm saying it just puts it in a very weird context.
Oh, hey, we made it out of that place. By that I mean that the road we almost went down just now.
There's the line again. That didn't last very long.
What, that joke?
No, the line.
Oh. Well, because I remember when we thought that was going to be the recurring joke, and then it fell off.
It fell off because the line was crossed and it never came
We stopped.
back.
Eventually, we just stopped keeping track of where the line was.
Stopped caring. Look down. Look down. Whoa, okay, I'll take this.
You'll
I
regret
could
that.
take that.
probably.
Oh, is that the sniper rifle? Maybe I won't take that. Maybe I'll take something else.
Belay that. Take something else. Okay, we got something up in the sky with diamonds. Uh-oh.
It's not Lucy this time, but
Nope. Frank.
no, it's Steve. Steve.
We were supposed to go up. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, hello.
where's you? Can I come in through the window? I can't.
What did you just say? Can I come in through your window?
I was gonna try to swing in.
Is that there you go? Pickup lines. Other things you're not supposed to tell people how to do. Can I come in through your window?
You know, I feel like pickup lines are just an excuse not to use nonverbal communication. If you're good at nonverbal communication, you can flirt without pickup lines at all. Just gonna say
Seems
it.
like awfully Regency era advice.
What does Regency era mean?
A woman smiles at you and then looks away. That means she wants you to come talk to her. If she doesn't do that, and you approach her, you'll be shot.
That's not untrue.
I take the orcish approach. Say what you mean.
Okay.
Walk up to a woman and
can
say,
I get
I'd
out
like to
here?"
jump your bones.
Yeah, try that once.
The likelihood of getting shot remains the same,
Yeah.
but
But, and that's a big but,
if it works,
How are you
you've
over
probably
there?
found your soulmate, actually. I don't know where I am. I'm fighting people. Get away. Here's the cool thing about the neithers. You can basically just shoot it anywhere and they'll find the guys. Whoa!
like me.
That was interesting.
A guy like me. Look,
Uh,
that's a great pickup line. You want to know how I got these scars?
Added points if you don't have any visible scars.
Oh, dear. I sent Danica...
I thought about okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you meant to go down that road.
Well, I mean, are they? I don't think it's supposed to be visible in that case.
What?
You know what case? Even if you have them, they're not visible.
What are you on about? Country
The
roads.
visible scars. What? Country roads?
I said rose.
And that is.
As in, never mind.
Was this some strange euphemism I've not heard of? You're going to have to... No! Explain
Yes.
that joke.
No, I assure you I will not on air. If you do not know it already, then never mind.
You're saying this is a common euphemism I'm unfamiliar with?
Not specifically the word country in front of it, but rose certainly is.
Well, then that's... Okay, so we've come back to the twisting of words
Not too much.
You can't-
Country.
the existence of the word roads in a sentence is, or rose is in a sentence hardly means I'm supposed
with
to
the
intuit.
previous context.
No, because you said country is the context.
I didn't.
You did. You said country rose. And I was apparently supposed to know that country wasn't the word you meant, despite the fact that the only other word I had in that sentence was rose.
What did you want me to say? Protruding?
Okay, now we're talking about the other side. We were talking about... What? I don't think we were on the same page at the start. I think we thought we were, and then we aren't.
Clearly so.
What visible scars do you have on the other end? Have you had anal contusion?
Oh,
Because I was saying, theoretically, you'd have visible scars on one side. Possibly.
From what?
Okay,
I
clearly,
mean, as friends.
clearly we were not on the same page.
Clearly not. I had a
What?
meme that I sent my wife recently that was like, I just cut myself. It was like some cartoon. I can't remember who the actual artist was, but it was like, I just cut myself shaving. And the guy's just staring at his face, and he goes, "Where?" And he just drops trowel. And I was like,
Why?
oh, it was pretty great.